Well, good morning. Thank you all for coming today. You know, since the election night, Sharon and I have been working tirelessly with the great staff that was part of the campaign to prepare for a transition and to organize it. We again want to thank the voters of Louisiana. We are so grateful and humbled by the confidence that they have entrusted in us to lead the state over the next 4 years. So to begin with, let's make sure that we set the tone. I want everyone to understand that we are going to be doing things different. We are going to be doing things different than the way past administrations have done the transition, and certainly the way that they have governed. So the old way of doing things is, for the most part, out the door. And today is a new day for Louisiana. So let me kind of set the goals for today. We are going to do 4 things. Today, we plan to announce the theme of our transition, where we're running the transition out of, who our transition chairs are, and the director of the transition team. So let's start with the theme. The theme of this transition is going to be one team, one dream, one Louisiana. Because I've said on the campaign trail consistently from the beginning that this race was never about me. It was about the people of this state. And so now we are going to unite the state. We're going to be one united Louisiana, and we want Louisiana to speak with one voice. So now we want to announce where we're going to have the transition and the headquarters. We are going to be running this transition out of the University of Louisiana at Lafayette and its campus. You know, I have said from day one that this administration will ensure that every part of the state has a voice, not just those who occupy the Capitol. This administration is going to represent the people of Louisiana, not just the political class. And so we are going to be running this transition out of Lafayette, which we believe gives everyone access to us, makes it easy for everyone around the state to reach us. Now to our chairs. The people that we have selected are not only great and proven leaders, but they are extremely dedicated to this state, to our families, and to our children. Each of them, along with their spouses, have raised children right here in this state. They have worked in the oil and gas field, the construction field, the environmental field, education, and healthcare. And each of them possess strong attributes of leadership, and that's why we've tasked them with helping us prepare this administration and this state for success. The first person is Ralph Abraham. Ralph is a native of Alito, Louisiana. He is a rural family physician, a farmer, a veterinarian, and has served in the U.S. House of Representatives in Louisiana's 5th Congressional District. Ralph has been a voice for improving healthcare outcomes in rural areas of this state. The next chair is Lane Grigsby. Lane is a resident of Baton Rouge and is the chairman of the board of Cajun Contractors, where he has grown his company to become one of the largest and successful construction companies in Louisiana. The third is Shane Guidry. Shane is a resident of Metairie and currently serves as the chairman and CEO of Harvey Gulf International Marine. He is a leader in the maritime industry and was the first to provide the Gulf of Mexico with dual-fuel LNG supply vessels. He has both domestic and international experience in deepwater and ultra-deepwater offshore oil and gas operations. The next chair is Tim Hardy. Tim is a native of Shreveport and is the partner in the Baton Rouge office of Brazil, Saxon Wilson, where his area of concentration is in environmental law. Tim has served as the top advisor for environmental affairs of former Louisiana Governor Buddy Roemer where he was the Assistant Secretary of DEQ. And he also was a division director at the Louisiana Department of Justice some time back. He has served on 5 Louisiana gubernatorial transition teams for both newly elected Democrats and Republican governors. The next chair is Steve Orlando. Steve is a resident of Lafayette, a successful businessman and philanthropist. Steve and his wife, Lisa, are extremely passionate in their help for local and national charities, especially cystic fibrosis. The next chair is Eddie Risponi. Eddie is a resident of Baton Rouge and a very successful businessman and industrialist. He has served as the chairman of Associated Builders and Contractors, the Louisiana Federation for Children, and the Louisiana Workforce Commission. Eddie has been an advocate for educational reforms in this state for decades now. And then lastly, as I looked at this group of people we assembled, I realized, and I took from something my mom always say, is that you always need a good woman to make sure those men get everything right. And so we are going to appoint Sharon as one of our transition chairs. She's going to help keep them in line, because that's some big egos we got, right? There's some great folks, great leaders. But it's important to know that since my days in Congress, she has always been a quiet voice in doing her best to kind of corral me and make sure that we are always focused on the people that we serve. And then our transition director is going to be Kyle Rutger. Kyle is a resident of Baton Rouge who grew up in New Orleans and graduated at Jesuit High, which is real important if you're in New Orleans, right? He earned his bachelor's from Tulane University, and he has over 15 years of senior management experience as the chief of staff in both the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. He was a senior consultant and strategist on our gubernatorial campaign. So now I'll go ahead and open it up with a couple of questions, we'll take a few questions. But I want to make sure that you understand we might not be able to answer them all today. But I promise that we are going to make this transition a success, and we want to make sure that it's thorough, it's efficient, and it is as transparent as possible. You know, the state wasn't broke overnight, and we're not going to fix it overnight. And so we want to make sure that what we do is a very thorough and important process. So we're going to just take our time. We've got a little extra time, and we're going to use that to our advantage to make sure that we get it right for the people of this state. So with that, I'll open it up to a few questions. Julie.
Thank you, Governor-elect. Can you talk a little bit more? You said you're having the transition in Lafayette because you think it'll be easier for people to access it. Normally, the transitions have been in Baton Rouge, I believe. Can you talk a little bit more about the decision to put it in Lafayette?
Yeah, look, I mean, this is our home. This is where we live. We don't live far from this university. This is my alma mater. Again, we're going to do things different. So people should expect us to do things not in the normal cadence, but to do it differently. And I think that it speaks with a voice. I think, look, one of the themes that we have talked about during this, or during the campaign, was that we want to work on crime, education, and the economy. And we want the people of Louisiana to know that all of our universities are important to us. All right? And we want to focus on all of our universities and make sure that they respond to the needs of the people of this state. Thank you. Next.
One thing about crime. Now, will you call the legislator into special session to address crime? And if so, what will you have to do?
Yeah, look, one of the things I'm very proud of is that we don't make many promises on the campaign trail. We talk to people about solutions. But when we do, we absolutely intend to fulfill them. And one of the things that we said was our main focus was on crime. And we do intend to call the legislature into session within the first month, within the first week if we can. We're going to work with them and the legislative leadership to get them in a session, and we're going to have a crime session to fix the structural problems with our criminal justice system. Yes, yes, ma'am.
May I ask a question of the First Lady-elect?
Sure.
Piper Hutchinson, Louisiana Illuminator. Governor-elect Landry said it would be your job to keep everybody in line. Do you think you'll have any challenges doing so?
I don't think so. I think it'll go smoothly.
Do you anticipate having just as active a role in the administration as you are in the transition?
Yeah, I think we're a team.
Just real quick, could you give us an idea of what it is you're expecting to come out of that special crime session? What are you looking to see land on your desk?
Yeah, look, our goal would be to ensure that we have transparency and accountability in our criminal justice system. And we want to make the goal of that, of our criminal justice system, is how do we keep people from going to jail, not how do we let people out of jail. And we also want to make sure that victims have rights and that we ensure that we concentrate on the rights of the victims rather than the rights of the criminals.
Hi, Governor-elect. I'm Taylor Tulip, KATC. Hello, First Lady-elect as well. My question for you is, you mentioned at the very start of your speech, we're doing things differently with you guys. Let's say in the first quarter of your time in office, what are your immediate goals moving forward in your new position?
Look, our goals, whether it be in the first quarter or throughout the 4 years, are going to be crime, education, and the economy. We're not wavering off of those, okay? Now, if we fix crime in a quarter, it would be wonderful. I don't think we can, right? But certainly, whether it's the first quarter, whether it's the first 100 days, or the second year or the third year, we are going to continue to concentrate on those 3 things. That's the promise that we made to voters. All right, one last question. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
As you move forward with the transition, how would you characterize your relationship with your administration?
Yeah, look, the governor has been extremely gracious in ensuring us that the transition is going to be smoothly. And I got to tell you, I want to thank him for that. I know that prior administrations, as they transition out and new ones transition in, there can be a lot of tension. And you know what? I think that is unfair for those going out to do that for anyone who's coming in. I kind of experienced that 8 years ago, where we were just kind of left with the keys. So I do appreciate, I think the governor has done a great job of reaching out. We're continuing to communicate with his office. And as we pull the rest of the transition committees together, we'll be working, we hope to be working with them more and more in a very transparent manner. So look, I appreciate it. Now look, again, let me make sure you understand that the purpose today is to ensure that this transition starts hitting the ground running in January with a clear set of recommendations and policies to tackle the challenges that we have coming. And so, as we said, we are going to keep you as updated as often as possible. And I really do appreciate all of you being here, and we look forward to more to lay out in the coming weeks. Thank you so very much.